And that full conversation with Nick Saban coming up a little bit later in the show. Last season's Tide Horns meeting here on Fox. Real nail-biter. Despite losing Quinn Ewers to injury in the first quarter, Texas played Bama about as close as statistically possible. And some interesting potential parallels to that 09
Look
season.
at the boy.
Yeah, that was the last time.
Look at that man.
Texas won the Big 12. They reached the BCS championship game before losing to Alabama.
Get right, Deuce.
And Mark Ingram in the Rose Bowl.
Natty boys.
Give it a kiss.
Natty boys.
Deuce.
Yeah. Natty boys.
Natty.
I got a couple natties.
It's okay. It's okay. Go talk about mine.
He got a couple too.
Brady and I will sit back here and just admire them. All right, let's talk about Alabama right now. Preseason, there were real questions as who would be the Tide's QB number one. Jalen Milroe, he answered all those queries and more last week versus Middle Tennessee, becoming the first Alabama QB under Saban to throw 3 touchdowns and then, Mark, run for 2 more.
Listen, I'm rocking the houndstooth. I'm down with the houndstooth today for my Tide because they going to roll today. And the X factor is Jalen Milroe. If he can make good decisions, get through his progressions, and not turn the ball over, the Tide will love the result today. Coach, there's nothing wrong with a punt. There's nothing wrong with punting. But what is wrong? What's wrong is if you turn the ball over and give Texas a short field to be able to capitalize on your opportunities. If Jalen Milroe can move the ball not only with his legs but with his arm, move the chains and move the ball, the Tide are going to roll today.
Did you just mention punting?
What offensive guy mentions punting? We're not thinking about punting.
Listen, a punt's not always a bad thing. You want to end every drive with a kick, whether it's a punt, an extra point, or a field goal. Not turn the ball over.
Coach Ingram. I get it. I can promise you this. Offensive coordinator Tommy Reese does not want to hear them talk about punting. I think they want to see more of what we saw last week from Jalen Milroe. And an interesting thing, and Rob kind of touched on this, is there was some skepticism whether or not Milroe could be the guy. But I think at least after the first week, a lot of that concern was alleviated. He showcased the big arm downfield. He worked through his progressions. He took care of the football. And when it wasn't there, he used his legs. And that's what makes him so dangerous. He truly is a dual threat quarterback. He's a big quarterback who can break tackles, who can make people miss in open space. And on top of that, he's got a host of wide receivers around him with a ton of speed. Isaiah Bond in particular. He wears number 17. The young man looks just like Jalen Waddle. He's that sort of fast as you would say, Coach.
Yes,
he's got that sort of speed. That's what Texas has to be able to match up with on the outside and trying to contain Milroe running the football outside the pocket.
And for Texas today, guys, this is it. This is the biggest stage. It's set. They're in Tuscaloosa. Can they prove they're legit? And their quarterback has an opportunity as well. Remember, Quinn Ewers was one of the top recruits a couple of years ago. Texas, that game last week against Alabama, he was sensational before he got hurt. For them to win today, he and this offense must improve on the vertical passing game. Last week against Rice, 0 for 6 on balls that traveled 20-plus yards or more. This Alabama defense, Freddie, they're going to take away the short stuff, the screens. There's going to be opportunities on the outside one-on-one with Xavier Worthy and some of these playmakers. They have to get better at that. If they can get some of those chunk plays on the road, that's their opportunity to win this game, Coach.
So what is it? Deuce? Is that what you said? Deuce. Sorry.
Deuce getting loose.
Here's big picture, Rob. Big picture is this. The University of Texas, at some point, that rock's going to break. Think about this for 1 minute. The last time they had a regular season win against a top 5 opponent was 2010, 13 years ago. That's absolutely inexcusable, a place like that. Too many great players, too many great coaches, and that place is awesome. At some point, that rock's going to break.
Are you calling the upset?
No. But at some point, that rock is going to break.
At some point. All right, Mark, you're Nick Saban. How you addressing the team in the locker room before this one?
Listen, there's a big one today in Tuscaloosa. And it's not because Texas is coming to town. It's because it's the next opportunity for this team to accomplish greatness. Play fast, play physical, do your job for 60 minutes, play with an intensity and a physicality that Texas is neither unable or unwilling to match with, and the whole Crimson Tide Nation is going to be behind you. This language might sound foreign to you, but everyone in T-Town knows what I'm talking about. Rammer, jammer, yellow hammer, give them hell, Alabama. Roll Tide, baby. Let's go.
Man.
Let's go.
That's awesome.
You are
awesome.
You are something else.
Let's go.
Oh,
hey, man, all this pounding, we're going to need a new desk by week number 3.
I get excited when I'm talking about my time. I'm sorry.
I didn't know that last week at all. All right, let's continue the conversation about Texas and Alabama as we welcome in our college football insider, sponsored by Allstate. You're in good hands with Bruce Feldman. Alabama really banged up in the secondary last week. Bruce, what's the latest?
They are, Rob. Last week, seniors Jalen Key and Malachi Moore both injured. They were slowed this week in practice. Nick Saban deemed them game-time decisions. Now, what I'm told, the Alabama staff is optimistic that Moore, who's the leader of that secondary, will be able to go. Now, how long he will be able to go is another concern. Jalen Key is a little more questionable whether he will be able to go. If he does not, Christian Story, a senior, will take over for him, and he's the guy expected to get the start. One name to keep an eye on tonight, Caleb Downs, 5-star true freshman recruit. He started last week at safety. He is a big-time guy who's generated a ton of buzz inside the Alabama coaching staff. They love this kid. They say he is super smart, physical, great range. Tonight could be a big coming out party on a national stage for Caleb Downs.
All right, something to look forward to, Bruce. Thank you very much.